I remember it like it was yesterday, March of 2020. The muted office flat screens streaming the national news had been going on about some virus spreading, but most of us assumed it was going to pass. About mid-month, the boss was walking around the office asking how he could make working from home more comfortable by giving us extra monitors, docks, office chairs, what have you. None of us really wanted to go home, and it hadn't crossed our minds as an option before. But soon enough, it went from asking to telling. Before we knew it, most of the company was sitting in a spare bedroom or at a kitchen table at home on Zoom calls. But hey, it was only 2 weeks, they said. Of course, weeks turned into months, months turned into years. Eventually, everybody was split between two camps, going back or staying home. But this isn't the first time the workplace has undergone major changes. Working from home used to be the standard way back in the day, back before the dangerous world of early factory work took off. Then came the assembly lines. Then the 40-hour work week was born. And then women entered the workplace. Before long, most humans were cozily stuffed in their assigned skyscraper cubbyholes as corporations took over, which created a toxic work environment of its own, as the film American Psycho depicted. More on that later. All of these were highly debated topics at the time, yet they're the norm today. Today's hot topic is remote work. Some say it improves the workplace, others say it's bad for society all around. Which is it? Thanks for stopping by NPC Overrider, where we challenge mainstream source code to develop independent thought, one user story at a time. Grab your laptop and your sweatpants. Let's check out the latest programming. Well, the mainstream argument says that remote work is generally bad for society, but let's check out this short clip from Jordan Peterson to get us started.
One of the shifts we've seen in the business world is this move to remote working, and I hate it. And I really worry about sitting behind a Zoom, doing my work for the next 10 years.
Well, I like it and I don't like it. I think it's very difficult for us to understand our embodied environments well enough to duplicate them in a healthy and comprehensive manner in the virtual world, because we just don't understand what it is that we're doing when we actually do things rather than represent them.
Okay, let's take a look at the supporting points as to why remote work is bad for society. Point number 4, collaboration and communication. Author and speaker Simon Sinek pointed out that the best collaboration happens between meetings, in those spontaneous moments that spark ideas through basic face-to-face communication. With remote work, that doesn't exist. In a 2020 study of Microsoft employees, results suggested that remote work hurt collaboration as people were stuck in virtual silos. Humans are social creatures, and Western civilization was built on basic human connections. We demolish these social foundations when teams restrict communication to emails, chat, and video calls, especially when the cameras are off. Number 3, work-life balance. Before laptops and smartphones, when people went home, they were generally done working for the day. Today, people carry their jobs in their pockets and never really disengage from their work. The kids want to play, but sorry son, dad just got slacked about an upset franchisee. According to a Remote.co study, 40% of full-time remote workers say unplugging after hours is the biggest challenge, putting our headspace in a constant state of being at work. Point number 2, security risks. With on-premise work environments, most companies operate with a secure network. When people are free to work in the Walmart subway in their Crocs, they may connect to shady or compromised networks and become vulnerable to attacks. According to a survey by Tessian, a cybersecurity solutions company, 82% of IT managers say that remote work has made their companies way more vulnerable to cyber threats. Point number 1, career development. If you're really interested in your job and intend to climb the ladder, wouldn't you show your enthusiasm by showing up in person if possible? This is an easy way for management to see who goes the extra mile to get the most out of their workday. Those who stay home may miss out on mentorship opportunities or promotions. According to a Stanford business study, workers who worked from home full-time had a lower chance of advancing to the next level. Okay, here's the rebuttal that says remote work is good for society. Here's a short clip from Tech is the New Black to get us going.
I'm a major remote advocate because I think there's just so much time wasted. Even if you have a short commute, by the time you shower, get your coffee at home, even if you just walk to the office, it's like an hour each side each day at least.
Yeah.
And then compounded. And now it's like, you know, when you talk about people taking on a second job, like think about all the extra time they just saved.
Yeah, exactly.
I knew people commuting 2 hours each way. Sometimes it was on the train to New York. I mean, that is just time you'll never get back, and valuable time that you can build something else. Mm-hmm. there. You can take those skills and work on something on your own. Again, consult on another company's app or something like that. It's an amazing opportunity for people now. So yeah, I mean, I think COVID was good as far as hiring, and it kind of accelerated a lot of processes because it was time we had people work from home.
All right, supporting points. Number 4, increased productivity. Remote workers are often blamed for lying around in their pajamas doing as little work as possible. But on-premise workers certainly have wasted their fair share of time between sitting around chatting about football, scrolling non-work-related websites, and enjoying extended lunches. When people are free of random small talk and uninvited team members interrupting work, they can focus on the job at hand. A 2024 study from the U.S. Career Institute showed that 79% of managers said that their teams were more productive when working remotely. Point number 3, cost savings and environmental impact. According to a 2019 Business Insider article, Americans spent an average of about $2,500 a year on vehicle maintenance, parts, and fuel, which employers don't typically reimburse. Common sense would tell you that this number tanks when we work from home. Employers also save a ton by reducing or eliminating workplace expenses and office space, allowing them to spend their money more efficiently, maybe on better salaries for employees. Working from home is obviously better for the environment as well, with fewer cars on the road and energy spent on offices. According to a 2023 study from the PNAS, working from home can reduce emissions by 58%. Point number 2, improved work-life balance. Why is it okay to talk about the most recent Game of Thrones episode for 45 minutes in the office break room, but frowned upon for a remote employee to throw in a load of whites between meetings? Working at home allows people to be adults and manage their work and home life more efficiently instead of living out the existence in a cube. With an average commute of 26 minutes in 2022, not having to schlep it into an office reduces burnout and stress. As far as disengaging from work goes, plenty of on-premise workaholics remain glued to their devices well after hours. Point number 1, access to global talent. Even having an office in a major hub like New York or Los Angeles limits talent to a relatively limited area. With remote opportunities, employers can nab resources nationwide and beyond. With global access, teams can engage with experts for short or long-term projects without them needing to set foot in the country, and they can operate around the clock. All right, here's the final patch. Is remote work really to blame? Of course, there are practical pros and cons to remote and on-premise work models. At this point, it seems most companies will offer a hybrid option where it makes sense. But is remote work really the problem, or does it just expose cracks in the corporate culture that was already there? American Psycho illustrates this well. The film, starring Christian Bale, came out in 2000, and I think I first watched it a couple years later. After working in corporate America for a while, the movie takes on a whole new meaning. Many viewers like me just assumed it was about Patrick Bateman, a rich psychopath with a secret bloodlust over which he eventually loses control. His exaggerated murders and evasion from law enforcement in the middle of New York City, of all places, are so unrealistic that the viewer is left wondering if the violence only exists in his head. In the film, executives spend their day sitting around doing crossword puzzles, watching Jeopardy, and obsessing about who has the best business card. They measure each other's success by who can get the most exclusive restaurant reservations and the most expensive suits. A major argument against working from home is the lack of culture, but corporate culture is often a cutthroat game, a mask people wear to cover their real identity, or that lack thereof, just like Bateman did. It seems nobody cared about discussing culture until employees considered remote options, probably because everyone knew it was toxic to begin with. Patrick Bateman and his circles, and almost everybody else in New York City for that matter, spend their entire days in similar boxes and similar buildings, wearing similar suits, often mistaking each other for the wrong person constantly, as if they're interchangeable. Because they are. Building a positive culture is a challenge for all work models, and it's up to both leaders and subordinates to cultivate and maintain a positive workplace, whether working in a flashy modern office with beanbag chairs and quote-free bubble teas, or operating fully remote. There's definitely downsides to remote work, but don't forget, the psychopaths stalking through the cubicles and skyscrapers of the corporate world have been killing culture for years. Well, that's going to do it for this version of NPC Overrider. I'm your lead engineer, Greg. All references are available through the description. But what do you think? Is remote work bad for society? Open up a ticket in the comments section and let me know. If you want to help me save the NPCs, please set the like button to true or share with a friendly NPC. But for now, it's about Beer 30. Thanks for stopping by. Have a good one.